So they're not going to leave southern Lebanon, whatever that technically means, until the threat's done. Just until the threat's gone. So they don't feel threatened. They're not going to leave until the state of Israel doesn't feel threatened by Hezbollah. They're just doing the Gaza stuff until the Hamas threat is gone, Charlie. In America, we say they're terrorists, kind of like the IRGC or whatever. But in Iran, the IRGC is also the water department. It's also the business license department. It's the whole bureaucracy. And so Hezbollah, okay, we recognize them as a terrorist outfit or whatever, but it's also kind of like their Department of Defense, Department of War or whatever. Like it's kind of the same. There's a little different, but you have Hezbollah friendly this. It's complicated. It's not Osama bin Laden hiding in a hill in the mountain. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I'm your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I am Frank, and along with me, as always...
What's up, planet Earth? I'm Bean.
The Bean Dip is back. We've taken a month away. Y'all have been sad. You've been sending us some messages crying. Lots of packages in the mail of just Kleenex, snotty, tear-soaked Kleenex. I hope that's what it was. There's a lot of Kleenex in the mail. Anyway, we're back, and we're bad. And give you something that you never had. All right, so we've missed some time here. A lot of things has happened. We had, this is St. Pete. Of course, we had a giant Pride parade, Pride Month. Did you do anything for the big Pride weekend or Pride Month?
No.
No.
That was last week? Was the parade was last weekend?
Yeah, last weekend was the parade and all the heavy festivities.
Was on a big ship.
Doing gay stuff?
No.
Well, I was trying to be supporting of the gay community, so I just hung out in gas station bathrooms having anonymous gay sex all weekend. So, I'm an ally.
You really dove in on that one.
Yep, dove in balls first, All right. Here all week, folks. It is, of course, lead up to Independence Day, 4th of July, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Charlie, how do you feel?
Like a slave.
Yeah, it is interesting to consider. 250 years ago, all these fellas met in secret. They had to, I think they even boarded the windows shut because, it's still British colonies, and if anybody spotted them and any spies overheard, they were gonna get their neck stretched, it was one of those, it was quite literally treason, what they were doing. Season for treason, Charlie. But, so yeah, these guys got together, and they were just like, hey, if you king, and it's July. Imagine how hot it is being boarded up in some building, wearing a wig, and all those ridiculous clothes they wore, made out of probably wool, maybe cotton, but probably wool, because this is pre-cotton gin.
Well, yeah, and if the windows are boarded up, then they need light, so they probably have candles on too.
God, yeah. Candles, wool,
sweatbox.
Yep, Philadelphia. I don't know. I wonder. Yeah, pull up a tab real quick. What's the temperature in Philadelphia right now? That thing is not typing at all for some reason. Yep, there it goes. Close enough. Let's see. Temperature. What? That's 102?
Well, this is accurate.
Is that real? Holy cow. Hold on. Yep, high temperature 100, low temperature. Holy cow. That is wild. That is hot. Look, Friday, 101, Saturday, which is the 4th, 100, low is 75. That's crazy. And then it gets down to a normal 88. Well, whatever.
Harp.
Yeah. I don't know what temperature it was. 1776, but I'm going to guess this was a little uncomfortable. And they basically were just like, hey, we're upset with some of the things you've done, you know? One was taxes, which wasn't really a big deal. We actually had fairly low taxes. I think overall it came out to about 3%. About 3% were our taxes then. Our taxes now are, I don't know, 25%. Let's see, I might have gotten this thing. Oh, don't you do this to me. I wonder. 17.3%. 17.3%. Yeah, at the time it was 1% of GDP. Now it's 17.3%. So we tax a lot more now, Charlie, than the King of England did. A lot more than the King of England. But they also were mad. They're like, hey, every time we come up with rules, you veto them and make your own rules. You know, so we got the taxation without the representation. We pay a lot more in taxes. How much say do you feel like we have, Charlie?
As of recent, none.
As of your entire life, you know? Like, we didn't get... Yeah, you get a vote in an election. Great. Great. And then they go to Washington or to the capital of your state or your city. And you go, I hope they do the stuff I want them to do. And then largely, they don't. Largely, they don't. And then they take more of your money. They make rules, whether it's COVID, to tell you that you can't have your business opened, or you can't go to school, or you can't send your kids to school, or you can't enter places without wearing certain accoutrements. Yeah, it's a lot of rules I don't remember being asked about. I don't remember telling my representative that I was interested in these policies. And many of them did not poll well either. So it doesn't seem like the majority of people are into them. This bill that, Trump talks about, the Save America Act or whatever. It's basically, kind of voter ID type stuff. And voter ID has something like an 80% support when it's polled. Like, Democrats go, yeah, voter ID is fine. Some people go, no, you can't do that. It's racist or whatever. Black people can't figure out how to get IDs. And, which is the argument against racism. And so anyway, it polls well. But Republicans don't want to bring it, or the Republican leadership won't bring it up for a vote. And the Republican president says he wants to have it for a vote. And so anyway, it polls well. 80% say we should have that. And then the Senate goes, yeah, I don't need that. We know that wouldn't be good for you. Oh, good. Thank you for the representation. What else we got? We got a little summary of a couple things.
It's like, what's the point in polling it? If they're not going to do it,
they're not doing the polls,
right.
Yeah. But it is one of those, when it comes up, because people polled all the time, people that want to pass voter ID laws and stuff like that, they polled all the time because, with Republicans it's whatever 90% or something, but then with Democrats it's still 60-70% or whatever it comes out to be. It's a majority of the two major parties that go, yeah, voter ID is fine, just to prove you are who you say you are. It's really not a crazy thing, and I get not wanting barriers to vote. We already have a thing called a provisional ballot, but everybody, homeless people have ID. Homeless people have ID. I know, I've seen it. Everybody's got ID. If you buy cigarettes, buy booze, rent a car, just everything. You need an ID for all these things. And voting, just to go yeah, I'm the guy. It's me. Let's vote to put someone in charge of making rules. It does seem like it'd be a decent... I don't know what else is in the Save America Act. It might be a bunch of nonsense. But as far as voter ID goes, it's not that crazy of a thing. Let's see. The king would forbid governors in the colonies from passing pressing laws without his approval. So basically, the king would just be like, well, before you pass that rule about governing the region, I have to think about it. So it's basically a tactic to delay us governing ourselves, which seems to be still a thing. You ask for transparency, and they go, oh, we'll get back to you. You know, Epstein, whatever, JFK, MLK, flock cameras. Right now I've got delay, like both the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department and the St. Pete Police Department are unlawfully rejecting my public records requests. I have answered all of their claims about, they go, it's confidential under this, and the answer is no, it's actually not. They go, it's personally identifiable information. You go, it's interesting because the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, their guidance on automated license plate readers specifically say license plate numbers are not personally identifiable information because you need access to a secondary database, which you don't have access to, in order to match them to an identity. And a court case in front of the Supreme Court at some point dictated that you don't have a reasonable right of privacy for, basically, if you can stand on the street and see a license plate number, you can't say that that's private information, because if you can just stand on the street and look at it, you know, boom, there it is. There's some things about this decision that I don't actually like, that I hope gets challenged, because it also sort of enables these cameras to exist to begin with. But at the very least, it says, according to the Supreme Court and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the plates are not personally identifiable. On top of all that, and it's also not anything to do with methods, because we all know they exist. We know that method exists. We're just talking about auditing the logs. What are y'all searching for? And anyway, there's a number of other things, but so they keep rejecting it unlawfully, because the other big part about Florida Sunshine Laws, let's just say, all right, just say there's a log, right? And it says search term, date of the search, person who did the search, maybe hardware address or something. I don't know what it says beyond that. But you go, okay, even if you said, I can't show you the license plate number, you could show me the date of the search. Maybe you could argue you can't show me the officer who did the search. I disagree. Or maybe you say, I can't show you the hardware address. Okay, that I could agree with. Like a police hardware address. Fine, that's fine. IP address, fine. You're obligated to redact the confidential parts and present me with the other parts. Like, you're required to do that. You can't just not present it. St. Pete tried to say that it's asking them to generate files that don't actually exist. To which I replied that Flock has routinely been proud of the fact that they automatically generate these reports, and they're accessible through the panel that comes with your subscription, and they do this for the sole purpose of transparency. So the good news is it's not a new report, it's just waiting for you to get it. Just because it's not your hard drive. It's like if I hired you, Charlie, to give me a report on the traffic patterns of Central and 5th, right? And then you did the report, you printed the report, and instead of delivering it to me, you put it in a filing cabinet, right? Well, I've paid you for the report. That's my information, right? It's in your filing cabinet. That doesn't mean the city doesn't have the report. It just means I have to get it from your filing cabinet. And that's all this is. It's just the log is sitting on Flock's server waiting for a CSV export, which I was also very helpful in including the instructions on how to do that, and customer service in case they needed help doing more than 20 days.
I feel like you need to charge them now for an hourly rate of your services.
Well, funny that you use the word charge, because according to Florida Sunshine Law, there's always one person who's ultimately in charge for a county or department or whatever for public records requests. Now, if they knowingly deny a request that should be granted, well, that's a second-degree misdemeanor.
Oh.
Yeah. So, not not a huge deal. Could be 60 days in jail. Probably not for a first-time offense. But, that is going to be one of the steps coming up is just pressing charges. I've already looked up their home addresses. I know where they both work. One was for the county, one's for the city. And we'll just, everything else is public record. And so it's just like, hey, go charge them. Cuff them, print them, and we'll just do it that way. And
I like it.
Yeah, and then if you continue to knowingly not provide the records, that's another incident, and that's another count. I'll press charges again. It's like this is a repeat thing. At some point, if you're a repeat offender, surely you're gonna do your 60 days.
Well, or while they're doing it, somebody else is replacing them, and you do it to them, and you just keep going one by one.
That'd be great. Yeah, that would be great. And just keep knocking them out. But really, just give me the damn files. Because what the problem is. And so once again, this is a delay tactic to prevent us regulating our self-governance. There's police chiefs, not just cops, police chiefs all over the country who've been stalking their exes. Police chiefs stalking their exes. There's, people watching gymnastics classes. And I have a feeling.
That's weird.
Right? How do you explain that one? There's been times where they go to the audit log and, officer so-and-so, officer so-and-so. And then it's like, Steve Jones. And they go, who's Steve Jones? They go, I can't find anybody at the police department named Steve Jones. I can find a flock employee named Steve Jones. Are they, against terms of services, accessing these cameras to watch gymnastics classes?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And so, anyway, these things got to be used all the time. So it's just, give me the logs. Anyway, sorry. Anything else on that? I kind of ranted on my flock thing.
That sounds great. They could just give you the logs, but this is getting better. So.
Yeah, no, I'd prefer just a nice CSV output according to what they're required to do. And then we won't have to, file suit and press charges and all that kind of stuff that kind of comes with it. But I guess it's coming. I'll see. I got to give a reasonable time. I just identified the head person at the sheriff's department. The city, I've already been emailing with him. And so, I don't know. We'll just keep churning along. Yeah, so the other thing this king would do, he'd be like, all right, let's talk about it. But he'd be like, we got to meet way over here. Make it basically difficult for anybody to show up. And then every now and then just say, dissolve that body over there. But it is, we have to. For city council stuff, you don't have to go far. But yeah, if you want to talk to your representative, they go, we keep a local office. You go, yeah, you there all the time? They go, no, I'm in D.C. You go, okay, so to talk to you, I have to travel a very far distance on my dime for my representative. It's like, well, just talk to my assistant who stays at that office, or it's dark all the time. So I guess we don't have to impose this taxes without consent. I've never consented to one tax ever. Ever. New offices and authorities hostile to the colonists. It would create new authorities and new departments that were hostile to the citizens. Huh? Good thing that's over. Good thing we don't have that anymore. Good thing we don't have government bodies that exist to spy on us, control us, lock us in cages.
Or just launder money.
Well, yeah. Launder our money. Siphon our money out to God knows what. It's crazy as they do these fraud checks for Medicare and all these things. It is crazy the extent to which this has been going on, and no one has cared at all. At all. They just go, okay. I guess New York City, they found some neighborhood that's got some insane number of adult daycares that are billing Medicare, Medicaid, or whatever. And so now they're looking into that one. It's like, oh, there's a billion here, a billion here. Thing is, we spend so much money. Fraud is probably not the major. It's not going to save our deficit if we eliminated all of it. But we rattle off billions like it's nothing. And some of these are going to just normal scam artists, these poor immigrants who came to our country because they love it so much and wanted a better life. And so they steal all of our money and they send it out of the country, sometimes to fund groups that are taking military action against us, which is less than ideal, I'd say. I'd say it's less than ideal. By the way, if you fled here and you needed, what is it called? You get your temporary Oh, not that, but just when you're hiding, you're gonna get killed. Basically, if you're in your own country, you're asking for. It's left my damn head.
Applying for.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. People are screaming at their podcast player right now. They're like, "It's this, you stupid sons of a bitch." Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing, you're gonna get killed or whatever. So if you go, "Hey, I need help. I need I need to hide from my country, live in your country. Please save me." And we go, "Okay, we'll do that for you. We'll protect you from the bad men in the home country." I think if you're here on that, and then you steal our money to send it back to the country that you need protection from, I think we send you back. I think, I don't know. That seems like enough for me. It seems like, I guess you weren't that afraid, especially, what do we got? Give me the damn word.
I tried to just get it to pop up.
No, it's going to be here.
Asylum,
thank you. Thank you, dear God.
Oh.
I should have known that word. I lived in one for years. So if you need asylum, right, and then you send money back to some of the most violent people in that country, maybe you don't need asylum from them. Maybe you are a part of them. But just generally speaking, I don't know. Like, if you're here for asylum and you get a job and you work and you raise your family, you do whatever, right? Even if, you can protest certain things or whatever. I don't know. But if you're just working, cool. Living your life, thankful to be here, cool. If you came here, you needed asylum, you needed protection, and then you go, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to steal a bunch of money from the government and send it over there to those people." Sorry, just send them back. Send them back. Everyone involved, send them back. Don't want them. Like, you're not welcome here. And I know maybe that's racist or jingoist or whatever, but I don't know. Go F yourself. We welcomed you in. And you want to steal, so sorry.
That's not very inclusive, Frank.
I know. It's exclusive. I'm excluding them from our country.
The fraud is ours, not yours.
Yeah, because you focus on, Mexican or Guatemalan dudes who show up and it's like, okay, they steal a social security card to pass around for everybody so they can get hired on somewhere. But it's like, oh, what do they do? It's like, well, they go do their job in construction or in agriculture or landscaping or whatever. Not to be stereotypical, but, we're talking about illegal aliens, and that's typically where they are. And it's like they go to work all day, they get paid cash, they get some beer, and have a nice evening. Sometimes they've got a family too, sometimes later, but sometimes they get a little stabby with one another, but they keep it in the family. It's just one another. That's okay. Sometimes you get a little drunk and you gotta stab your homie. It happens. But they're not doing Medicare fraud. They're doing it. And here's what the biggest scam. In Social Security, right? So say you got these 50 dudes on this one Social Security number, right? And it actually belongs to old Albert, the 90-year-old over there. And they're not racking up credit cards. They're just working, And a portion of money is going into Social Security. Well, so the way the government does, Social Security office goes, well, Albert doesn't pay in anymore. He withdraws. And it looks like we got like 25 different deposits to Social Security. And I don't think these are real. I think it's fraudulent. So do you know what Social Security does? They go, we have unallocated funds. It doesn't go towards old Alfred's account. It doesn't beef up his account of what he's contributed. They go, this money actually doesn't belong to Social Security and the traditional like pay in, pay out Ponzi scheme that it works. They go, good news. We don't even have to add this to the Ponzi scheme. We can spend it on anything we want. So, because that's at one point I looked it up. I go, maybe if all these illegal aliens are working and paying into Social Security, maybe it'll be solvent. But no, they flag it as not real and they spend it on other stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. They can spend on anything they want, Charlie. And it's off book. Pretty much. I mean, like it's extra money. It's just extra money that they get. And even with that, deficits. Yeah, whatever. All right. What else we got? All right, go through a couple of these for the fourth. Parallel power structures bypassing local governance. Yeah, we talked about that. Kept standing armies among civilians in peacetime. We've been doing that a lot during this term. Yeah. Made military superior to civil power. Not yet. Cut off trade with all parts of the world. Well, tariffs kind of do that. They sure limit it, don't they? And deprive trial by jury. Well, I mean, January 6th showed us that they can do that for a long time. And January 6th is still a very successful psyop. There's still a lot of people that hear, oh, January 6th is horrible. It's the worst thing ever. And you go like, it was not good, but it was clearly the intention, not of the people that went. You got a lot of people there, stop the steal. And the Democrats and the power structure that was not a fan of Trump was just like, we got to make these rednecks riot. We need to make them riot. We need to have a reason that Trump can never be elected again. And we need to have a reason that this whole, we need the sane power structure of DC that's been running it. The bureaucracy needs to be back in charge. And, adults are in the room now. And so, they shot people in the face repeatedly with non-lethal rounds, and they understaffed with security, and they hit people with smoke bombs in the head. I mean, people are bleeding, and they just pushed them. They poked, and they poked, and they poked, and they poked. And eventually people and then also there's people shouting for everyone to move forward, who can't be recognized with any facial recognition software. And so they're up there, come on, everybody moving forward. They want us to move forward. Okay, we're moving forward. It's like, who said that? It's like, his face doesn't exist. You go, well, that's interesting. Like, his face just doesn't exist in any of these things ever. They go, yeah, okay. But anyway, they did what they did. They stole the podium and they did whatever. But scared some people. And whatever. But anyway, the people some of the people who just, literally got convicted of parading and things like that, they were waiting in a hole for 2 years, 4 years, like some of them many years, but some of them 4 years, just to get a trial. Not to be free or whatever, just be like, can I have my day in court for the 2 misdemeanors you're charging me with? The 3 misdemeanors? Most of these people weren't even charged with felonies. It's like, I'll gladly have my day. Like, the penalty for this is like 60 days if I'm convicted. I've already done 3 years. I mean, that's crazy authoritarian stuff. So, anyway, Declaration of Independence. We've moved a long way. I think We need a new revolution, but not in the way that a lot of people like to talk about it. I'm not talking about an armed uprising against the federal government. If you like your congressperson, you can keep your congressperson. But if you like your president, you can keep your president. We got to get rid of all the bureaucracy. You got to get rid of all of it. Like, and I know, like, with Chevron deference being overturned, theoretically, that means that regulatory agencies can't create law, basically. But someone needs to go through and challenge every single thing that they've ever passed and get it all thrown out and force the swamp rats to actually vote on the laws and pass them. You know? Like, just put your name on it. You're too afraid to vote on voter ID that 80% of people like. Like, what's your vote going to be on air conditioning regulations or whatever, you know? And I think Florida, so I think, because that's the thing, the taxation without representation theme goes along with these bureaucracies who can make policy that costs us money, they don't answer to us. They're not elected. We can't vote them out. They can be there for life. And now there's all these other weird federal things where it's like, just because you're an executive branch employee doesn't mean the chief of the executive branch, the president of the United States of America, can't fire you. It's like, no, you got employee protections. Like, well, how? Like, he's in charge of that branch. He's the president, and these are government employees. Like, the president shouldn't have too many powers, but firing people in the executive branch is definitely one he should have. He's the head of the executive branch. I mean, that's it. That's the whole argument. He's the head of it. Constitutionally speaking. Like, that's his branch. I'm not saying he can fire a congressman, but just a secretary. And I don't mean Secretary of State. I mean an administrative assistant. He can fire an administrative assistant if he wants to. What are we talking about? But Florida has a bit of an interesting opportunity. If we had somebody with the stones at a state level, and maybe at some point all this performative politics, now it's a red state, everybody has to show that they're the most conservative. They're the most. We're better. We're more conservative than Texas. So Texas does something, we got to do something. We got to do it before Texas does. So that's what we have now in Florida. And it's only going to get dumber. Because that's the path to success, unfortunately. People like Randy Fine. But Florida's Constitution specifically says that it only needs to follow the federal laws passed by Congress. So every EPA regulation, if I was Florida, I'd say we don't have to follow that. Now, Florida has their own version of the EPA at a state level, and they go, we regulate that in-house. But Florida should stand up and just say no to every single federal regulation and just say, sorry, People's Republic of Florida. Like, we follow, like, if you pass it in Congress, of course, we will follow the law. These aren't laws. We're not doing it. If we can do that could, I don't know. It could be something that then gets followed by all the other people that want to elbow to be president one day, get the Texas, get the, I don't know, where else, Missouri and Tennessee, and everybody that's doing the dance. These are the revolutions I would like to see. Just for emphasis, these do not involve violent uprisings.
Sad face.
I know. I don't want people showing up at my house, Charlie. That's not what I'm going for on this
topic. You're not a part of the problem.
I think I'm literally part of the problem.
Well, whose problem? Well, I guess, whose problem would be the
people that would come to the door. I think I'm literally part of that problem. I'm actively picking a fight with both the sheriff and the police department. I don't need the feds yet.
I like it.
Thank you. All right. So that's, what are you doing for the 4th?
I think going to my dad's. I think that's the plan. Not really much because we just got back, so.
Yeah.
Just chilling, I think. Yeah.
That's last weekend. We got the the house to ourselves for the first time in quite a while. Sat in the pool.
Nice.
Just sat quietly in the pool. It's good. It's good. Sat in my chair, drank some coffee. I did that. It was nice. All right. Well, so that's America. They're doing a big old thing. Who really cares? Trump's got a bunch of stuff planned. The Great American Fair or something like that. Like a Great American State Fair. I mean, whatever. State fairs are kind of a uniquely kind of American thing. And so having like a Ferris wheel or whatever. They're doing a rodeo at the Capitol. I mean, whatever. Fine. Let's do it. Like, I don't know. I'm down to throw a big-ass party. You know, I think Trump will be good at throwing a big-ass party. I mean, he did get entertainers such as Vanilla Ice and Flo Rida. I don't think anyone else. But he does have Vanilla Ice and he does have Flo Rida. Howard Stern pronounces it as Flo Rida because he does not know. All right. So let's talk about something.
I'm totally calling him Flo Rida now.
I know. I have a hard time not doing it. It was an interview from like, I don't know, 20, whenever Flo Rida hit the scene, you know. He went on Howard Stern. He's like, okay, so Mr. Rida, Flo Rida. He was doing Flo Rida for a while. He's like, Flo Rida. And he had to cry. He's like, all right, Flo Rida. So yeah, he spent a long time calling him Flo Rida during the interview. It's like, come on, man. Like, he's like a good interview guy, but he didn't even look up the pronunciation. Maybe he just didn't care. All right, well, let's talk about some things that have been happening around this here time. A lot of stuff has been going to the Supreme Court. One of the big ones, of course, was the birthright citizenship. Trump did an executive order saying, yeah, we're ending that. And they got challenged, so you can't do that because of the 14th Amendment. I don't even know if I really need to pull up the screen. It's pretty much everything. We'll do it just for look at it. Just look at it. Anyway, Supreme Court did not agree with his argument. They said it's in the 14th Amendment. It says if you're born here, you're a citizen, right? So here's the deal with the 14th Amendment. You know, you hear a lot of Republicans go, the purpose of this was after the slaves were freed, they needed to be citizens. There was an amendment saying, hey, if you're born here, you're an American. And it wasn't just for the slaves. It was also for, there's a lot of Asians that came in out west or wherever. There was Europeans as well. But there was a lot of debates about Asian rights, and because Asians, look less European than us, so it was easy to go, not American, y'all are Chinese, like, you don't have rights, go over there.
Y'all are Chinese.
I can tell. I'm something of a people person. Get over there, you Chinese. But so they go, all right, if you're born here, you're a citizen. And people go, what? It's like, they didn't say if you're a legal alien. It's like, well, at this time, that wasn't a thing. You could just come over here, and then eventually you would, quote unquote, naturalize. I don't know what that process was. I didn't look it up. I don't know what you have to do to, quote unquote, naturalize and become a citizen back when slaves were just legal a day ago. But they weren't throwing people out. And so they're just like, all right, if you moved here and you got some kids and they're born here and they're raised here, they're Americans. Most of us just got over here and then we had kids and they're Americans too. And so there's debates about whether it'd be for the Asians and the Europeans. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be for all the people. So it was before we had immigration law. Okay. I think the only real, sticky wicket in this whole thing is the birth tourism industry. Ooh, Charlie's unaware of birth tourism.
What?
Oh, yes, Charlie.
Birth tourism?
Yes, Charlie.
I can only imagine what this is.
It's basically, you're 9 months pregnant, you take a trip to America. You have a baby in America, and now you got a little American baby.
This is a service? This is a service.
Well, Interestingly enough, there is a bit of an industry with the nation of China.
Huh.
Yeah. So imagine, yeah, it's something that people do on their own. Just try to get an anchor baby or something. Where you go, okay, well, maybe if I can get a little anchor baby, like, but at the very least, this kid's American. This kid can come back, So it might be something where have the baby, I get thrown back to Mexico or something. But at least in 18 years, this kid can just really anytime, but in 18 years, be an adult. He can just go in because he's an American, and now he can start. But China, so China does things in a slow roll. We are at conflict with China. On the cyber front, they've been attacking us for years, and they've been winning a lot. They have every serviceman's social security number, everything. If you were in the service, any service, China has all your personal details. Sorry, we didn't protect them, and I think they got all of social security at this point too. I forget. China has it all. They've been attacking us for a while. Obviously the currency manipulation is economic warfare. But imagine if you would, Charlie. You got people. You got a lot of people. Though some people say China is exaggerating how many people because they're all starving to death.
Yes.
And that could be a thing. But you send some of your Chinese citizens over to America. You go, hey, why don't you hang out over around California for a little bit, Seattle, whatever. Just hang out. Have that baby. And come on home. And so they go over, they have that baby. They come on home with their little American citizen. And so now they can bring it back to China. China can teach them, coach them up, him or her, whatever. But the kid can, depending on how a system might work, either the kid just grows up loving his home country of China, or maybe you have a special school. Maybe you have a special school for babies born in America who came back. And you make them real proud of their country. And then at 18, come on back now. So now you're American. You can come here, be an American, and you have the right to vote. You have the right to run for office. You can be president. You can be a congressman. You can be mayor. You can be whatever. So now you have the ability to train a little spy army.
I was gonna say it's a sleeper spy.
Yeah, you could. I mean, and born in America can be president. But Manchurian candidate and all that. You don't have to brainwash somebody, or you can start. You can start from baby.
I was gonna say you're brainwashing them in the Americanized environment in China.
Yeah, you just do the whole. You go, hey, look, America. This is why the Chinese system is superior. We really need. China needs this. We need America to undermine itself. And so, yeah, maybe it is something where you go, hey, you run for office, and now you can really change legislation. Maybe it's bad policy. Maybe you go, hey, why don't you just push some policies that'll crash economically? Just cause social unrest. Or maybe you go for the big prize. Maybe you try and get some senators, some Congress people, a president, Charlie. So anyway, yes,
Weird, because it sounds like that another country does that too. It's weird. It's coincidental.
What country you talking about, Charlie?
I don't know. It just sounds like Israel does the same thing.
Do they?
Seems like it. I don't know.
I think they just use APAC, but I don't know. Maybe it's me. APAC's been effective enough. I don't even think you need the spy army. They've been very effective. I'll get to them next. But yeah, so I don't know. It's one of those things like, I do think, and in this ruling, they did leave an opening. They did not. They basically left an opening so Congress can pass a law saying, like, if you're not even here on a visa, if you're just here on vacation, like if you don't even have a visa and you don't live here, if you don't have a residence here, whatever the language would have to be, like, your kid's not a citizen. because it wasn't meant for that.
Right.
It wasn't meant for just walking through, taking a tour, taking a cruise down the Mississippi River, and suddenly everyone's an American. It's like, nah, go back to wherever,
Yeah, like buying a one-way ticket for the time being until you have your baby, and then you buy your ticket back.
Yeah. But it's like, it's one thing to, an illegal alien still will have an address. The alien lives somewhere, Someone, for the tourists, they don't live anywhere. Maybe they're staying with a relative or a hotel or an Airbnb, but they have no mailing address. Now, granted, that's not that hard to figure out. That would just be another step to do in this whole industry, and I'm sure China could figure it out because it's really not that hard. You just got to get a bill sent to an address, really.
So are we more China or are we more Israel? Or both?
Well, in what regard? What do you mean?
Good counter question on that. Because I feel like either is controlling certain sectors or sections versus the other controlling.
We are definitely influenced by lots of foreign actors. Allies.
That's very safe.
but that's the thing. Like, Russia's active in it too. Like, Russia's very active and stuff. And these bot farms online that get us fighting with one another. A lot of that is Russia, because you want to have civil unrest. We need to be at each other's throat so that we weaken the government, the American system. China is influencing us. They're trying to do subtle stuff. They use economic warfare, get you drunk on the cheap goods, use your money to strengthen their position at home, and then attack you. And then also, movie making and all that kind of stuff with Alibaba films and all that. Anyway, there's a lot going on. It's one of the potential openings in a free society. With freedom of speech and all these freedoms that we have, it's hard to stop people from just expressing ideas, and I wouldn't want to, but that allows these other people to come in and try to influence us. Our job is that we need to be smart enough to not fall for it all the time. Just take a minute when you're getting rage baited online and just go, okay, is someone trying to sell soap? Is this just an account online that is rage baiting, that's getting engagement for their own good or for a bigger good? Is the whole point of this blurb or this article to get me to turn to someone with different opinions and go, you are the problem? If that is the whole point, it's stupid. Read a different article. Like, the topic could be relevant. There's a lot of democratic socialists getting elected right now, and the things they believe are abhorrent. Like, hint, socialist revolutions, also known as communist revolutions, they never have worked out for anyone ever. Cuba, Venezuela, Soviet Union, China. China had to move into a free economics, or kind of close to free economics, just to stop starving everyone to death. But like, Mao starved a lot of people to death. Vietnam didn't work out well. Anyway, there's lots of examples. There's not an example of a people's socialist revolution that did not end with death. I mean, even Iran, it was the socialists teamed up, the socialists and hippie types, but it was socialists and the Islamists that teamed up to overthrow the Shah, because they said the Shah is this American fella, he's too American, and capitalism's evil, the Western ideas are evil. So, you had the Islamists on this one side saying the Western world is, totally counter to Islam and it's evil. And they had the socialists going, plus the capitalism part, evil, it's just there to subjugate you. Everyone, yay, we got them. So, you get the Ayatollah in there, and it's like, things are going to be good now. And the Ayatollah said, hey, kill those socialists. And so then they killed the socialist. And so that one also didn't work out well, but for different reasons. Funny enough, there seems to be kind of similar things happening now. It seems like some of the people rising up in the Democratic Socialists are also Islamic or from Islamic areas. Probably just a coincidence, but it is a hard thing to balance these things, because if you're a progressive and you're into feminism or gay rights or some of these things, in Iran, these are not things they're worried about. Now, I'm not saying all, Muslim communities, all that. Obviously, there's like reform and there's more, there's different groups. Everybody's not Iran.
Just like the Jews, yeah.
It's like the Jews. It's always about the Jews, Charlie. But you don't have the same things in common. You just have a similar enemy. And that's, anyway, get on a rant here. All right, we're getting late in this. We got to get to the Jews. But for real. So one of the big things that's been happening, speaking of Iran, is of course that we have a memorandum of understanding, right? And Qatar and Oman, all these people are trying to help see this thing over the border. Did I put this up here? I don't think I did. Basically, so talks are going good still in Lucerne, Switzerland, beautiful place. But they're going to pause them because they have to have the Ayatollah's funeral. But it seems like Gayatollah is still around, and Gayatollah has a judge he's not going to keep. I don't know. There's a little bit of conflict. There's a conflict with the ruling people of Iran right now. Some people really don't want to sign a peace deal. Other people really don't want to be blown up for not signing a peace deal. So there's that. And then on top of all that, we got our ally, Israel. Bibi Netanyahu.
Supposedly.
He's our ally, Charlie. He's our greatest ally. Israel's our greatest ally. And Bibi is a friend of ours. Mm-hmm. Which is how people used to say someone was in the mafia. Interesting. Anyway, pain in that. But no, so like, we talked about it. Remember, like, as we first start this like new campaign of bombing Iran, Israel immediately just goes, Lebanon! And so we're like, hey, I thought we were doing this. Lindsey Graham's like, we need to go after Lebanon. What are we even talking? I thought we had to do it. We just did, like, we're just started. We just sending the stuff that way. And you went that way. And so they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped with Lebanon. They keep going further and further. Oh, shoot. Pause real quick. So, yeah. So, Bibi's been going into Lebanon. And then we had a peace deal at some point. And they screwed that up because they just kept bombing Beirut. Beirut is a major city. This is not a tiny little village. It is a city that has been established for a while. So they just keep bombing. They keep moving further and further north into Lebanon, bombing, city blocks where people live that are not. Remember when they had like missile launchers that were getting hit in the middle of wherever it was in Israel, Tel Aviv or someplace, and they go, "Hey, this is a residential area." And you go, oh, that's weird. They're bombing the hell out of residential areas in Lebanon, quote unquote, because of Hezbollah. But it's like these are residential buildings. These are residential buildings. Beirut is not on the border. I understand when they come over and they shoot their little missiles from the hill or whatever, and you go, hey, F you, pew pew, I even understand going a little bit in there. You go, hey, since y'all keep coming to this line and shooting at us, we'll just wait here. If you keep coming, we'll just shoot you from here. How's that sound? And okay, I guess, but they keep just marching north, and going to Beirut.
Wonder why.
Then Trump, so Trump told him to cut it out. You called him a maniac. He's like, everybody hates you. He goes, everyone hates you. If not for me, you'd be in jail right now. Like, what are you doing? And so, it's been kind of calmish, but not really. What did I just do?
You full screen that monitor.
Oh.
Hit full screen again.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be in Hebrew. So I'm just going to read it to the folks that don't speak it. I guess we can listen a little bit too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You said you're going to read Hebrew?
Well, I'm going to read the English.
Oh. Man, I got all excited for a second. This is going to be a goy moment.
Oh, God. I wouldn't even know. I don't even know what the characters mean. You look at it and go, I don't know, pi sign. It's like a pi sign with a line near it.
That's a rabbit hole.
All right.
Lebanon recognizes Israel.
This one has English.
Israel recognizes Lebanon. And we are telling both Iran and Hezbollah, leave. You have no place here. There are two sovereign states that want to make peace with one another and restore security and prosperity to the residents of northern Israel and to the people of Lebanon.
Through bombs.
You need to leave. That is a slap in the face, a punch to the Iranian axis, and it will not necessarily pass without a response. We remain firm in our position. We will not leave southern Lebanon until the threat has been eliminated. And as long as Hezbollah remains here, armed and threatening us, we will remain here.
So they're not going to leave southern Lebanon, whatever that technically means, until the threat's done. Just until the threat's gone. Until they don't feel threatened. They're not going to leave until the state of Israel doesn't feel threatened by Hezbollah.
The generalities that this guy just capitalizes on is ridiculous. Like using Southern. There's no actual designation. If he just says that Hezbollah is somewhere, he can bomb it.
Yeah.
So he could say it's anywhere and just bomb anywhere.
I mean, we saw Gaza. Hamas was everywhere, and now there is no Gaza. And they are just going to do it until the threat is gone. They're just doing the Gaza stuff until the Hamas threat is gone, Charlie.
And now we're on the Hezbollah.
Until the Hezbollah threat is gone.
And Hezbollah's in other places too. Come on.
And technically speaking, although Hezbollah, they're kind of a weird thing because kind of part of the military of Lebanon is kind of Hezbollah. So it's this kind of weird, sort of legit, sort of a faction of, it's kind of a terrorist cell. I mean, in America, we say, they're terrorists, kind of like the IRGC or whatever. But in Iran, the IRGC is also the water department. It's also the business license department. It's the whole bureaucracy. And so Hezbollah, okay, we recognize them as a terrorist outfit or whatever, but it's also kind of like their Department of Defense, Department of War or whatever. Like it's kind of the same. There's a little different, but you have Hezbollah friendly this. You got, it's complicated. It's complicated. It's not Osama bin Laden hiding in a hill in the mountain. But even that example, though, Taliban was the government and currently is the government. We went there to take him out, and of course, we put him back in before we left. Someone's got to run the place, Charlie. But
make it make sense.
I cannot. But here's another little thing from that. You mentioned how southern Lebanon is very general, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is one where I'm going to have to read it because we don't have the good voice.
If I chopped Lebanon in half, he can claim the bottom 50%.
That's crazy. Okay, so this is Netanyahu. He's talking about I think he's talking about his time in the military or something. Was he in the military?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. So it's not that great. I guess we can listen to his native tongue. I might have to take this out to read, but and I remember leaving Lebanon on foot with soldiers and going to Baca to get up early and seeing the Lebanese cedars that were used by King Solomon.
ששימשו את שלמה המלך.
Okay.
וראיתי את
And
יפי
seeing the
הארץ.
beauties of the country. And
וחשבתי
thinking
אז,
then,
ארץ יפה
what a beautiful
ואומללה.
and miserable country it is. I didn't mean to pause it. I just wanted that long ago.
והאסון
And it's a
שלה,
tragedy,
שהיא קרובה
very
מאוד
close to
לישראל.
Israel, and that it has
והאסון
no
שלה,
natural
שאין גבול טבעי,
border.
בוודאי לא עד
Certainly not as
נהר
far
הליטני.
as the Litani River,
מסבך,
which is
קל,
easy
לבוא.
to come by.
והאסון
And
הזה
this
הביא
tragedy
את
first
תחילת
brought
הפתח
Fatah
לשם,
there, and when we expelled it from
ושסילקנו אותו
Lebanon,
מלבנון, זה הביא את
it brought Iran,
איראן ושלוחיה.
its protector.
לבנון היא
Lebanon
ארץ
is a beautiful
יפה,
country.
ויש
There
שם
are
גם
also
אנשים
beautiful
יפים.
people there, but the
אבל
Sunnah
אסונה שהיא נתפסת,
is that it is captured
כת
by a
קנאית,
fanatical sect, which
והמעצמה
is the
הפטרונית של הכת
patronizing
הזאת,
power of this sect,
והם
and
רוצים
they want to
להשמידנו
destroy
על
us
ידי
by
פלישה
invading
משטחה.
its territory. All right, so beautiful, and miserable, and what did he say? No natural borders. No natural borders, Charlie. It's just, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. It's not a clear river. It could be anywhere, Charlie. It's not, there's no natural borders. No natural borders.
Greater Israel's happening.
So he mentioned the cedars too. Okay? He mentioned these cedars by King Solomon. So there's a region with the beautiful cedars. You want to see where that is? So here, whoopsie. All right. So here is the border of Israel down here, kind of in the middle of the screen. Beirut is where they're bombing right now. Beirut's where they're bombing, which is up there. I'd say that's still kind of the southern half if you cut it in half, like Charlie said. As Charlie King Solomon suggested, you cut the baby in half. And but look up here, this Lebanese town, situated at altitudes between its location of the Cedars of God, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the only remaining place where the Cedrus labani tree grows natively. So this area, further north of Beirut, is he mentions the cedars from there and how beautiful they are.
That's north.
Well, it's a beautiful place, beautiful people. It's just too bad Iran controls it, Charlie. But they'll only be in the southern part of it until the threat is gone. Only until the threat is gone, Charlie. In the southern part. And if the threat's not gone, maybe they have to move a little further north. Charlie. Charlie. Maybe they got to move further north, Charlie. Yes.
Now that explains the activity in Cyprus. Okay. Now it all makes sense based on location.
What's been happening in Cyprus?
I believe there's been a lot of immigration going on in Cyprus.
Like people moving to Cyprus? Or okay.
Correct.
Cyprus is supposed to be beautiful.
From Israel.
Oh, no. Like settlers, you think? Or?
Correct.
Oh, that would be less than ideal.
Bit of an issue there right now.
Interesting. I've not seen that. I will do some Googling about it. But one thing that they did mention, I think a week or two ago, suddenly out of the blue, Netanyahu was talking about problems with what country? Do you remember? Syria. So here's an interesting thing.
Oh, God.
If you just keep going north through Lebanon, oh,
Weird.
you end up in Syria. That's kind of odd. And, if you kind of look at the map of Greater Israel, it does sort of just go up here. Now, I think you do have to keep, I think you got to pilfer some up here as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Parts of Turkey, I believe, are included.
Yeah, were they complaining about Turkey too? Or was
I
it
haven't
just-
said anything about Turkey yet.
Okay.
Although Turkey I think, disagreed with Israel's disagreement that they were a part of said agreement of the ceasefire.
Yeah.
That's about it. So it's it's inevitable.
But it's interesting that we're just now like southern Lebanon. We're here to stay. But also, God, the trees are just so beautiful.
Dude,
here.
this is fast. They're moving fast.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting because when you talk about it, I don't know. They're just hanging out. Like when Israel, they were just sitting there being themselves. Mm-hmm. But suddenly they do look like a nation on the move, a conquering nation on the move. It's kind of what it looks like.
It's so, man. It's such like I'm in a torn situation on this, just because of I see what's happening, and like. Being a part of their quote unquote welfare, as BB called it, doesn't sit well with me at all either.
Yeah.
But background, it's very hard to go against the grain, even though I enjoy going against the grain.
It's kind of one of the things that you do there.
I do.
You're the bean in the grain. You're like the bean pod. You're just a pole bean in the grain, Charlie. Well, speaking of that thing you just said, here is the stuff that had you dumbfounded. Once again, I'm going to have to read this because, I ain't in English. Speak it English, please. All right. More Netanyahu fun. All these are from June 30th on, by the way. So this is the... Yeah, we're not even to the 4th.
That's the fresh BB. Okay, that's the fresh BB. Right.
I don't know. I think he survived. All right.
You are American?
So they asked him, do you want to stop making aid? Yes. When will this stop? I want to do a 10-year gradient. I really appreciate the support we received. I'm sure you all appreciate it. Financial too, but not only financial. First of all, you don't remember that when I was first elected 400 years ago? Also laughter. Beautiful. I know you're not writing because you're having fun. That's okay. When I was first elected in 1996, I came to Congress. I was invited there to speak several times. The first time I said Israel had a per capita income of $17,000 at the time. Today, we have $67,000. Just to understand, because of the economic policy. Because of Patriot year, he said 100%. And they laughed about something. I said, in the name of the fathers, I said, we're going to make a revolution of a free economy, and as a result of that, we'll be able to give up the economic deficit, which was $1.2 billion at the time. It was a lot of money back then. And everyone opened their mouths and said, look, this prime minister is giving up aid to get a headline. I said, I'm not giving up on the aid. I'm increasing the productivity of the state of Israel because we do not need it. It's like welfare. It's like welfare. Doesn't want it. Now I say we can too because our economy will soon reach $1 trillion. This is no longer a small economy, not huge, but already a medium-sized economy. We can finance ourselves this fraction of a percent of our share that we receive from the United States. We'll start this year. This year, okay. So that's him saying, you want to start this year getting off the U.S. government teat, which is wonderful. Basically the way it works is we go, here's money, you have to use it from our defense contractors. And so then they buy weapons from our defense contractors. And people go, look, the money's coming right back to America. You go, yeah, it's our taxpayer dollars. That went to them to then go this way to buy from these guys. Like, why wouldn't we just get a better rate or something from these guys and just send them the missiles? Like, I don't even understand why we have... Like, what is this? What is this? If we want to just be arming them, why not? We should just be arming them. Because we are just arming them. We're just doing it in a stupid way. But... give me your thoughts, Charlie.
Well, initial thought is I noticed he wasn't wearing a yarmulke, and he usually does. It's usually black tie, black yarmulke, blue. I'm sorry, black suit, black yarmulke, blue tie.
Did we get it? I was reading the whole time. Did we get a shot of the back of his head?
Yeah, he wasn't wearing one, unless it's the same. Unless it's gray and looks like hair.
Does he normally wear a yarmulke all the time? Really?
Most of the time, I usually see him with one on.
Oh.
The previous video he had one on, but he doesn't have one on.
Yeah, he
this.
sure doesn't. Is there? I don't know the rules. I mean, I can't imagine he's the most orthodox in the world. If he's the most orthodox, he wouldn't be killing so many people.
Right, and being on TV and
Yeah.
all sorts of other things.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, whatever. I don't know. None of these people were wearing them either.
He said he got elected. There was a very interesting time when he got elected.
What happened, Charlie?
The previous prime minister got assassinated.
That's interesting. How'd that happen, Charlie?
I believe he was shot. I believe he was shot.
Was there some
and they had
suspicion around it?
Well, they had to have an emergency election, and we've had BB ever since.
Yeah, but that's only 30 years, Charlie. Most leaders that aren't dictators rule for 30 years.
And claiming the increase in GDP, yes, sure, maybe you influenced it a little bit, but natural economy is growing over time.
I mean, they've got a great tech sector over there.
Right, yeah.
Israel, they're a successful country. That's the thing. Like, that's one of the arguments against needing to give them money is they have a strong economy and a strong military. Let them handle their own business. Like, but they can handle it. They can handle it. They can handle it. Are we saying they can't? Because that's anti-Semitic. Yeah. See how? Yeah.
When he's also said in speeches that we all hold a piece of Israel in our pocket, in our phone. So if that is an accurate claim, yeah, they don't need any help.
What part of our phone is? What does Israel do with what? What does Israel make for our phone?
I mean, I don't know specifically. I couldn't tell whether that was a threat by him or him just claiming the fact that Israel influences the world, but technologically, I should say.
I mean, there could be some patent or whatever that kind of went over. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I think it's interesting in that, going back to what we're talking about, where Israel and Netanyahu specifically, and like his wing of stuff in Israel, they do not want a peace agreement in Iran. They want they want Iran to turn into Gaza. They want Iran to turn into Gaza. Period. Save the island with all the oil refinery stuff. Get rid of the rest. They pretty much come out and say it. They've got that one finance minister or whatever that's crazy. He just seems like he's as bloodthirsty as Lindsey Graham. Less gay, though. But yeah, so they don't want it. They're happy to disrupt a peace deal. And I think during this process at some point, Trump's just like, because other people have said, why don't we stop supporting them financially? I think Trump probably made a threat at some point. Like, look, if you keep doing this, we're going to pull your support. Like, how are you going to get your Iron Dome, fulfilled or whatever? Have you seen the stats on defending Israel? They stopped using their own. They weren't using their Iron Dome once we showed up. They were just we were intercepting things. We were using our munitions instead of them using their munitions. So that's something. That's the thing. Like, let's get this peace deal signed. Let's leave. And if Israel wants to go to war with Iran, have fun. If Israel wants to go to war with Lebanon, have fun. If the world starts going, hey, this country keeps invading other countries and killing a bunch of innocents, we'll just see what happens, That'll be more up to their neighbors than us. We'll have something to say about it. Perhaps we'll say, why don't you stop conquering countries? It's really hard to not make you look bad. It's all the stuff people were screaming about Russia for a while. You're kind of doing that. They were always comparing Russia to this country that did this stuff in like the 40s. And we don't think you want to be compared to Nazi Germany? Oh, They are about to the peace squad or whatever that Trump put together. They're about to start building.
The Board of Peace?
The Board of Peace. They're about to go into Gaza and build structures where people can get some aid, some food and stuff. And they're not going to let people who are Hamas in to these support areas. They're going to look a lot like camps.
Who's funding this?
The Board of Peace.
Come on.
They're gonna need to be contained so you can control who comes in and out of it. They're gonna look a lot like camps. Like camps.
Are they going to identify them?
Maybe. You gotta keep a record of them. Maybe a barcode system or some sort of series of numbers that you can see on the but optics, I don't think are going to be great. I don't know. The Board of Peace, wonderful, fine. It's just, we're a little too late. Like, it's so much had been destroyed. We're just a little too late. Maybe the Board of Peace can stop the rest of Gaza from being destroyed. Maybe start looking at the West Bank a little bit. But just maybe peace. Maybe you should focus on peace where it's not rubble. The rubble stuff, it sucks. There's displaced people. I'd probably live in someplace else. Like, give them food, give them water, give them whatever. Maybe we should figure out a way to just not have this continue. Not move north through Lebanon, through ancient cities of Beirut and Tripoli. Maybe that could be the focus, like ending wars. One of the things that our founders they were not big into is foreign entanglements. We are entangled. We are entangled. In Ukraine, we are entangled financially. Over here, we're entangled. And Ukraine's starting to attack Moscow with stuff. Like, can we just find some exit ramps? You know? Settle down, people.
I can't help but think that most of the populace of Israel is not supportive of this. There's no... If they are, they're being MK Ultra. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
I think post 9/11, we all saw how America came together for the wars. Even when there was some protesting, most people were in favor of Afghanistan. Eventually, with politics, as time went on, they'd say, well, I'm for it. Afghanistan's the good one. Iraq's the bad one. That was the fake weapons of mass destruction. That was politics. That was W. That was horrible. Afghanistan's the good one. So there was this thing where it's like, okay, it's time for war. This is post 10/7. Horrific attack. Horrific attack. People were kidnapped and all the things. Horrific, right? And so, you know, to a certain degree, it was like, all right, everyone had kind of gotten used to the bunker thing. Like, you shoot a couple shots our way, we go on a bunker for a little bit, come back out, party, and, you know, and we know that you're going to shoot a little mortar from a crappy apartment, and we're going to send a precision missile, like, right down your throat. So, oopsie doopsie, and, you know, sorry about your luck. And the world was pretty much okay with that. They go, well, if you don't want your building blown up, don't shoot rockets at Israel from your building, and no one will blow it up. And if you do, they're probably going to blow it up. And it was just one of those things. You go, well, that's kind of the price of doing business with this conflict. Big attack comes, and now it's personal. You know, people's relatives, friends were taken, were abused, were, you know, all the things. And so, I don't know. I saw the last polls I've seen as far as Iran goes. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to stop. They want to keep going with Iran. With Gaza, I imagine it's waning with time, but with Gaza, it's like, no, we got to finish the job. They don't ask about ethnic cleansing, but the things they ask that sure look like ethnic cleansing also poll fairly well right now, which is not ideal. Not saying there's no bleeding hearts or it's 100% by any means. It's not. But polls better than you'd think.
But October 7th was primarily focused on Hamas because Hamas carried out the attack, right?
Yeah, I mean, Hamas did the October 7th. Yeah.
Right. But we're on to Hezbollah now.
Right.
So, like, I get, when I say I get the Gaza thing, it's a little extreme, but it's understood. But
Yeah.
this, like, you can stop now.
Yeah.
You've cleared Gaza pretty much.
And I think, we hear a lot about how Hamas and the UN and Iran and all these different people make this, like, kids programming, like the Kids Sesame Street, where they go, like, here's the evil Jew, and so, like, little kids are like, well, I think you should throw the Jew down the well so my country can be free. And so you hear about that, and it is great. You do see, you go, well, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, why are you doing this to your children? But on the other side, I do think there's something about the way we talk about the existential threat that Israel faces every day. They're the only, everybody, all their neighbors hate them. If it was up to Iran, Israel would be dead. If it was up to Israel, everybody would live together. But I think this everyone is out to get you thing, because you do have Hamas that does keep attacking. You do have Hezbollah who does. Their attacks are just so. And I get it. It's more than zero. We don't have to live with attacks all the time. Maybe I'd feel different if, Cuba was lobbying mortars or whatever and all that kind of stuff. Fair. But compared to October 7th, the attacks have never been consequential, really. And there has been, settlers kind of chipping away at areas that they're told they're not supposed to. And so it's one of those, it's a conflict. But I just, I think at some point you hear about how they all want to kill you. You hear about how they all want to kill you. And then at some point you go, well, you know what? If you all want to kill me, I guess we're going to kill you first. Because if someone wants to kill you, you don't just sit there and let them kill you. Kill them first. Kill them first. And so it's kind of the thing where it's like the ball's rolling. Like we're now like we're in a war. We're in war with Hamas, kind of. Now and it's like and now we had to go to war with Iran, the big threat. Iran's the big threat, and America helped. We took out their nuke facility. That was great. Huzzah! It's like, and we took out the Ayatollah. And now we got the gay Ayatollah. And he's not going to be much better. We thought we took him out. We didn't. Iran didn't topple. But we're still like in a war footing. And I think that is I think Netanyahu could sense that Trump really did not want to send any boots on the ground, which is really what you need to do anything more than we've done, is we have to like invade. And I think Netanyahu knew we weren't going to do that. And that's why he was so fast to pivot to Lebanon, is he might not be able to get Iran off the table today. But he might be able to expand Israel's footprint by hundreds, if not thousands, of square miles. And so, I don't know. I think you ride the wave right now. No one's really telling you to stop. They're telling you to pause. They're saying, okay, well, just don't shoot too much. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's clearly like we're watching it. It's clearly a land grab. It's a land grab. I mean, we're not going to leave until the threat's gone. Well, the threat's never going to be gone. It's like, until the Hezbollah threat's gone. It's like, well, you mean the military of Lebanon? Until the military of Lebanon's gone? Well, how are you going to get rid of the military of Lebanon? You got to defeat it, I guess. That's the only way to get the Hezbollah threat gone. You got to defeat Lebanon's military. So, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? So, I don't know. We'll see. It's a wild one. It's a real wild one. Yeah, you got any, Uh-oh, someone forgot. He does something every week. Well, while you do that, I'll say follow us on Rumble and YouTube and Spotify's. We're in the iTunes and all the other things. LoadedTalk.com, of course. Tell your friends, like, and subscribe because we need to beat the algorithm. The algorithm is here to beat us, and we will beat the algorithm like it is Hezbollah. But yeah, tell your friends, and yeah, that's what we do here. That's what we do. Right, Charlie?
Yep. There we go.
And there's other things we do sometimes, such as
Getting prepared
getting
properly.
prepared. All right,
Yeah.
we'll just skip this week.
Oh, wait. Wow, that was fast.
Okay.
Well, I mean, here's a good fact for today, July 2nd. On this day in 1776, the Continental Congress in Philadelphia formally adopted a resolution declaring the American colonies free and independent from Britain, setting the stage for the Declaration of Independence 2 days later.
Yeah, we know, Charlie. We already talked about it. God.
Mind-boggling.
You know, John Adams actually was like, hey, I think everyone's going to celebrate the 2nd of July forever. And it's like, yeah, 4th. You got close. But it wasn't until the Declaration of Independence just hit so hard. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever. All right, we'll formalize, adopt that. It's like, all right, send that to the king. All right, everybody, remember to send letters to the king this weekend because fuck them. That's why.